here. So yeah, let me tell you the story about the tale of a business who wouldn't fucking listen.
Uh-oh.
Anyway, let me do the voice thing here.
We've
So
heard if we've heard this story, we've heard it 1,000 times in the IT world.
is 256 gigabytes a lot of storage? It really depends. What are you storing? If you're storing pictures of your dog, yes, it's a lot of storage. If you're storing your 25th playthrough of The Sims, not so much. Is it also worth to get an M2 chip over an M1? I would say yes on that one as well, yeah. That's the M2 Apple, right?
I have no idea. I
I don't know
don't
anything
I
about
don't
Apple.
know shit about Apple.
Apple is literally the devil incarnate.
Oh, yeah, by the way, Unity may have also managed to piss off Apple.
Oh, I'm sure.
Because
How's that?
Unity is who Apple was partnering up with for the VR thing.
Huh?
So,
Glorious.
uh, if Unity survives this somehow, I'm pretty sure that deal's just not going to go through now.
Well, did you see
With
what
this,
Aura posted earlier?
what Hoyoverse is doing.
With it just fucking replacing the engine whole ass, yeah?
Yeah, I shared that over the salt mine, and they're like, "Oh, yeah, did Unity think that this wasn't going to happen? That people weren't just going to say fuck this? It's cheaper to make our own engine now."
Yeah, listen.
Oh man. I hope the reason they haven't said anything since Sunday is just because their entire PR team quit at this
So,
point.
they came in, Dave was fucking hanging from the ceiling.
It's like, man, can't do shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
And also, like in-house engines, those things fucking pay for themselves in spades if they're built right.
What the hell's Relogic announcing now?
Oh, they're
Relogic,
just
uh,
they TLDRs, they donated 100,000 to Godot and someone else. Because
Jesus.
fuck Unity for this move, and they don't even use Unity.
hey,
They're
fuck
just like,
those guys. We don't even use
yeah.
them. Yeah,
Yeah.
so anyway, as I was saying, so yeah, a saga of a business not listening to us when we tell them they really shouldn't do something. So, basically, they have this one Excel sheet. This is just an amazing saga. So they have an Excel sheet on a shared drive that
Oh
people
no.
use a VPN to access.
Uh-oh. Okay. We've already got like 3 to 4 points of failure here.
Yeah, and it gets even better. Some people have write access, some people only have read access. And
Okay.
told them they really need to deploy it because they were they were fucking running it out of the engine. So you guys know about Microsoft Access, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they were running it out of the engine. They didn't deploy it. They didn't compile it. They were running it raw.
Wait, they were just. Oh my god.
And we were like, look, you really should consider compiling this. Like, no, then we can't make live changes. We would have to decompile it and make changes. It's like, well, you really should. Guess what happened?
Let me guess. Access crashed.
Access crashed for someone who had write access to the file and proceeded to corrupt the entire file, making it unrecoverable.
Let me guess. There were no backups.
Yes, there was no backups.
What's really impressive to me about that is Access works so hard to make backups for you.
Oh, it's great. Oh, no, don't get me wrong. There were backups from a year ago.
also known as death in a company.
So,
So, yeah.
did anyone try to sell them on just have a strict schedule every 3 hours, compile, backup, decompile, so you can keep making updates live? Did anyone did anyone offer that compromise? Because they clearly are too bullheaded to do what you're suggesting.
Yeah, no. See, compiling it was just out of the question, period.
Oh, they deserved it then.
Yeah. Well, we also had another company who has like a 4 gigabyte large QuickBooks file, and we've been telling them for years, almost, according to some of my coworkers who came before me. We've been telling them for a very long time now that they really shouldn't be running it with a 4 gigabyte QuickBooks file in 32-bit QuickBooks. You really shouldn't be doing this.
Oh no! What? Why would you do it in 32-bit?
Because that's what they use, and that's what they'll always use. Because what's wrong? Why would we need to change? And it only took a major catastrophic crash to switch them from QuickBooks 2016 to QuickBooks 2020 64-bit. A major catastrophic crash that put them out of business for a whole week.
Only a week? I'll be frank, that's impressive.
Yeah, well, we had a lot of people pulling some overtime hours. But
oh boy.
yeah, they still insist though that they still got this file fucking floating around, and even 64-bit can't fucking handle it. And even QuickBooks themselves are like, you really shouldn't be doing this.
Really, QuickBooks support is like, you need to stop.
Even QuickBooks support is saying you need to stop.
Damn.
Yeah.
You know, guys, I think they need to stop.
And they're like, no, we don't want to. Okay. All right. Then shit started breaking. Again. But anyway, that sign's not showing up, so let me tell the story. So, today I had an individual call in asking for assistance with Microsoft Word. Because when they open Word up, they don't see their documents anymore. Okay. I'm looking for their computer. I find their computer. Their computer is off. I go, sir, are you on your computer right now? Yes. Well, in our system it shows it's off. He goes, oh, are you talking about the Dell? I don't like using the Dell because it tells me I have to turn off my computer to update it all the time.
What?
Every week, we send out updates that we verified are good updates to our customers. So at the end of every week,
this Windows update doesn't catastrophically fuck Windows
yes.
or introduce a security vulnerability.
So at the end of every week, we send out the updates we verified as. And, you know, Windows updates don't come around too often, so really you only have to update maybe once a month or so. But users just have this fascination with never turning off their computer. And don't get me wrong, I understand. I don't like turning off my computer either. I don't do it. However, the computer I don't turn off is my own personal computer, not my office computer. I'll fucking turn off my office computer as often as my business tells me to.
The only reason I power off my personal computer at night is because it's in my bedroom, and I don't need the fan running all night.
You don't want to listen to the sweet sounds of your fan all night?
No, not particularly. Nor do I want
Yeah.
the blinking LEDs.
I'm in the same position. I started shutting it down every night, and I've slept better than I have in literal years.
No, I need the sound. I need the fan whir.
Yeah, I can't deal with that sound. I honestly, I think it's just, I think it triggers me because for a year I was fighting Windows 10
Yeah.
because do you know what you know what was enabled by default on early Windows 10 build, Sneaky?
Auto update.
LAN wake up.
Oh yes.
Ah,
So even if I wanted to use the sleep option,
It wouldn't.
Windows 10 said, "No, you're connected to a network." I turn on now.
Yeah.
no
Yeah.
sleep, only on.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, I also exist on the opposite side of the spectrum. I don't allow my computer to sleep ever. Period. Um.
Oh,
It's
no, I used to. I stopped doing that. I just let it run 24/7.
Yeah.
But
Because it's not allowed to go to sleep anymore because Windows 10 with sleep mode equals Windows 10 in crash mode.
uh yeah, yeah, that also occurs. Windows 7 sleep mode every night for 2 years. No
Yep.
problem.
Exactly. Yep.
Windows 10 sleep mode every night for 2 weeks. Problem.
Problem after fucking problem. Yep.
Like Windows 10, either you run it 24/7 or you turn it off every night.
Yeah.
Yep. But so I'm like, okay, sir, that's all right. We'll create a manual session. So I do. You know. Now I find out halfway through creating this manual session that he is on a Macintosh. Okay. Trying to use Word on a Mac. And something broke. This is me being shocked. So, session starts. Now, Apple, in a very frustrating series of events, instead of simply asking you, hey, do you want to allow this person to control your computer? And you hitting the yes button before it allows any action to occur on your computer? Apple requires you to hit the yes button. And then the second yes button. And then go into your settings and hit the third hidden yes button. And then restart the connection, and then the person can connect to you. And do you know how hard it is to explain to someone who doesn't understand what a computer is beyond the fancy box that uses my electricity? How to access his settings menu?
Yes, I'm painfully aware. Still living with my parents. I taught my dad how to use the snip tool the other day.
Wow.
One of the easiest tools
Yeah.
to use and access on Windows.
And Windows Shift S, yeah. Great stuff.
It's a
He forgot the
fantastic
next
tool.
he forgot the next day and I had to run him through it again. I didn't bother teaching him Windows Shift S because that's too complicated. I taught him how to use the Windows search function
Ah,
because shortcut keys are still too much for him. I love them, but
I mean, there's just there is a line between this is hard and I'm just being obstinate for the sole purpose of I don't want to learn things.
oh, I know. I know. I pointed it out to him, even got him to admit that he just isn't retaining the knowledge because it's not something his brain wants to learn. Which is a fantastic teaching moment. Like, cool, so now you fully understand why I didn't get a HVAC license years ago. Because my brain didn't want to retain it.
No. See, that's just you being lazy.
Yeah.
No, he got silent and looked at me and said, you know what? That's a good point that I didn't think about.
But yeah. So we finally get connected. We finally have access to his computer. I tell him to hit the connection refresh button so I can control his screen, so I can click
Right.
on things. and he exits out of it.
Oh.
And because Apple is Apple, there's no way to get that box to pop back up without restarting the entire process.
I see.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh man. Fuck Apple. People wonder why I hate Apple. This is why.
So yeah, we finally get him through that. And I'm like, fuck it, all right. I'm not gonna bother. I'm just gonna tell him what he needs to click on, because now I can see his screen. I can see what he's seeing, and I'm like, all right, so click on this. Huh? Click in the top left corner on file. Where is it? The top left corner. I don't see it. It's next to the word word. Where? The top left corner. And like his mouse is down in like the bottom right. Because that's how he reads. He reads with the pointer. Now, admittedly, he was an older fellow, so he probably had a little bit of eye issues. But I mean, there is a. It's like it's almost like a nose hair to your, communication difficulty here, where I go, hey, they're in the top left, and he teleports down to the bottom right of the map and goes, I don't see them.
I mean, here's the thing. I would say there's a magnification tool to help people like that, but he doesn't. He won't be able to find that tool.
No, he won't be able to find that. So we do that for a while, where I'm trying to direct him to click on various things, and he basically has to reread the entire screen every time I tell him something new, because he apparently just did not retain any object permanence at all. Every time the screen changes even a little bit, it's all new to him now. And honestly, I think if you're like that with computers, you shouldn't be using a computer, because that sounds like a terrible fucking life to lead.
Also, I don't know how you function in an employment capacity. I really don't.
It's this thing called age, Atin. Age and nepotism. People
Yeah.
believe that
Well,
simply
there's
because you've done something for 30 years, that just automatically means you know how to do it right.
it also doesn't help that we've progressed exponentially in technology in the last 20 years.
No, it doesn't, but there
It
are
doesn't
some
help
basic
its legs.
things like object permanence that,
Mm.
aren't really related to technology. It's just related to you being able to comprehend the idea that not everything changes because one thing changed. But so we muddled our way through it. It took a whole 45 minutes. And ultimately, at the end of the day, the solution was to just restart his computer, which he hadn't done in 45 days.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Because what he was actually missing was the category in his Word document that when he opens Word on a blank document, and it gives you an option of opening up recent documents or looking at your home page with all the templates on it and shit like that. He was missing the option to click on this Mac to open up his documents folder from there.
I see.
And he was complaining that he had to go to his file explorer and open his documents through his file explorer. That's what his major complaint was, and why Word was broken, is that he had to click one extra button, which admittedly, for a man like him who has to reread the entire screen every time he clicks on something, I can understand the frustration and having to click a whole extra one thing. That probably adds minutes to his routine every day. And
I'll be honest, if I was that lost at a job, I'd be grateful for something adding minutes to my day.
And I'm not trying to shit on the guy. He was very polite, very cooperative, very understanding. However, if you're trying to give someone gun safety tips, it doesn't matter how polite, cooperative, understanding they are, if they keep putting their finger on the trigger and the loaded firearm pointed at their eyeball. Eventually,
At some point, nature finds a way.
at some point, you just gotta be like, look, I have to shit on you. I am required to shit on you so I don't scream my head off.
I'm required I'm required to fail you right now, immediately, forever.
Comet used his breath weapon. Is that considered Baja Blast? I fucking hate you. Fuck you, Aura. Anyway, so I've
No,
delayed long
Sneaky,
enough.
don't say that. That only gives his idiocy power.
Well, his idiocy gains power regardless. So I feel like, in the spirit of all of this, going back to the classics here might be necessary. And then I'll tell another story later on. Because we go to spice things up, you know? So, we're going to the Naruto section. The place where it all began. Not really, but sort of. The other
There's
option.
definitely an Naruto section that spawned this idea.
What? Which idea? A lot of them.
The entirety of fanfiction contempt theater.
Well, I
It's
mean,
almost
it was
exclusively
technically
that
speaking,
section.
it was the Mass Effect section that spawned the podcast. I meant more it was the Naruto section that kind of put fanfiction.net on the map.
Oh, yeah, it absolutely did. What's the current fit count up to on the website?
It's on the website itself.
Yeah, well, yeah, on fanfiction.net. Like, what are
Let's
they at?
see.
Just
So
normal ones.
Time Heals is a recently posted fanfic, and it's sitting at let's see here, 14 million. Trigger warning: spousal abuse. Oh my god.
What the
What is
fuck
wrong
is
with you
wrong with
people?
you?
Time Heals is a Sakura times Itachi story.
Can
No. Wait. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sakura times Sasuke story where Sakura tells Itachi about how Sasuke beats her. And Itachi kicks Sasuke's ass. And apparently this an AU? Yeah, this is a modern AU with no chakra.
Hmm. Do you suppose it's a call for help?
If anyone's interested in reading more of my stories, join me at Fanfiction Addicts Anonymous on Facebook. I'm gonna say no.
I'm going to say not in
What?
a million
No,
years.
hang on. What's anonymous about a Facebook group? Exactly? Did they not understand
That's
what
a good
anonymous
point.
means?
That's a good point.
Hey, listen. The anonymous part is who's getting to buy your data, Max.
Yes, that's the anonymous part. Yeah.
That's a horrible anonymous part. What do I get out of this?
The anonymous part is we spin the wheel of fortune, and
Ads
that's
that
who we
will
sell our data
occasionally be
to.
relevant to you.
Yes. The other
I don't
90% of the
believe
time,
you.
you will get car ads.
No, Sneaky, don't forget, constantly getting clothing. I actually turned ad personalization back on because then at least I got nothing but game ads instead of car ads and clothing ads.
See, I wouldn't know because I use an ad blocker.
I unfortunately have to check email on my phone for work, and Google started planting ads directly in Gmail.
Again, I wouldn't know because I use an ad blocker on my phone.
Yeah, there's options for ad blockers on phone. You should consider looking into them.
Because I saw that shit and I was like, fuck that. I hadn't put an ad blocker on my phone in forever because it was a process and it was annoying and I didn't want to do it. And then I opened my Gmail one day and there's a fucking sponsored email. I'm like, fuck that shit. Get out of here. The other option, the infinite Tsukiyome, could only be ended by combining the power of the 9 Bijou and the Renegon. Sasuke decided to be difficult, only willing to end it when Naruto died. Luckily, Naruto remembered there was another person at the battlefield with a Renegon. Ooh.
The resurrected pain?
No, didn't his eyes get snatched?
No,
Like,
he had his Renegon in his resurrection form,
yeah, didn't his
but
eyes
I'm
get
pretty
snatched?
sure. Oh yeah, no, Madara came in and plucked him, didn't he?
Pretty sure he did, yeah.
The only other possible, it's not Kakashi, because Kakashi only got them for a moment and then they disappeared when Kaguya showed up.
And then it's not Madara because he turned into Kaguya. So you're saying that
The
only
only
other
option.
person would be Kaguya?
Well, theoretically, Hinata could have had a sudden mutation. Theoretically, the
No,
Byakugan could
no, gotta
also.
remember her eyes don't go Rinnegan. Her eyes go Moon Eye.
Whose eyes go Moon Eye?
The Byakugan turns into the Moon Eye.
Wait, what?
What
Yeah,
the shit is the
Is
Moon Eye?
this sound okay? This is either
that's from
really
Naruto the
well written.
Last.
Oh my god, I completely forgot because I was enjoying the romantic comedy aspect of it too much.
Well,
I
see,
forgot
the
about
only
that.
part I remember of that movie really is the part where Naruto shot a beam of death and then accidentally cut the moon in half, and then it started falling apart in the sky, and he's like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. And then held the pieces together with Kurama.
Karama, I need you to hold the moon together. What?
Also, the moon was hollow and had a space Nazi in it. That was interesting.
Okay, Karama, I need you to promise not to get mad.
I mean, he was there. He's the one that shot the beam.
Oh, man, I forgot. She also tore a dude's eyes out because he stole her little sister's eyes.
Yes.
That happened in the same movie.
Yep, that
Man,
happened.
I need to watch that movie again. That was actually a really good Naruto
Naruto
film.
seems to have a real thing for eyes.
Yeah, I mean,
Listen,
better eyes than feet.
ever since he had Itachi dig someone's eyes out, it's like, yo, these are plug and play.
These are fucking plug and plays. In Naruto.
I didn't realize we were playing Freddy Fazbear's Scoop Extravaganza.
Wow, what a time for Nose to join.
What the
Cool.
fuck did I miss? What did I
Nose,
miss?
did you know that eyes are plug and play?
Man, what a time
No.
frame to join.
Yeah,
No.
you know, I want an interview opportunity with Kishimoto. I only have one question.
Yeah.
Why did you make eyes modular in the world of Naruto? That's my only question.
Yeah.
It's the one thing I can't wrap my head around.
You wanna know what I'm mad
That's
about with
saying
that?
something.
No.
That eyes being modular? It wouldn't fucking help you and me, Sneaky.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
maybe not, but being in the world of Naruto, you guys could actually get your optic nerves fixed up.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Maybe. They don't
Hey!
actually know what caused the damage, whether it was genetic or like, slamming my head into a wall or something.
Oh, well, no, I know exactly what caused mine, so.
Was it slamming your head into a wall?
No, it was pressure from assist on the optic nerve.
Oh, yeah, right. I remember this, yeah. The setting of Dragon Ball has a shiny.
Hey! Okay, wait. Okay, hang on. We've seen that eyes are modular. We know that arms and legs can be modular in
Yep.
the Naruto universe.
Yeah.
Yeah, they require some stitching, but yeah.
Has anyone tried it with a brain?
The hard part was taking the
Orochimaru.
brain back out.
Yeah. Oh, well, Orochimaru's less
No,
brain,
no.
more soul.
Orochimaru's is more of a soul.
You know,
Plug and
I
play.
don't see
Yeah,
any
I know, but I'm
reason.
sure at least in one of his labs he probably did.
Oh, there was absolutely a lab that's like, yo, what if I just swap brains in people?
What happens to someone's chakra if I swap their mind out?
You know what? Brains probably are transferable simply because there's jutsu solely revolving around mind.
You know
Just
what?
entirely.
Yeah, you got a point. Yeah,
Popping
you know
into
what?
minds, reading minds.
Yeah, puppeting them. Yeah, you know
Controlling-
what? You know what? Chakra is probably what makes all of that shit plug and play. Like, if you really think about it, because of chakra, effectively everyone's literally just a flesh golem that's being powered by an extracurricular energy source. And so everyone's body parts effectively being plug and play makes total sense.
Yeah. By the way, Sneaky, something that I didn't want to say out loud because of Twitch guidelines, but I sent directly to you. I just imagine Orochimaru saying that in the lab.
Yes, yeah. Well, see, he probably would research that before he did, any sort of hopping himself.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So,
Well, now I'm just curious.
what about curious about this story, Max? A tug of war. You didn't need to be a ninja to start a war.
That's a
Using
good
law and
point,
business.
actually.
Mm,
You
I
don't
would
need
say
law
it's
business
kind of
for that.
50-50. In the ninja world, I would say you don't need to be a ninja to start a war, but the only
No.
reason why the war started is because the ninja let you.
Yes, theoretically, you could pay Hidden Village A to attack Hidden Village B. You can't pay them enough to start a war.
I mean, you
Oh,
could.
you know,
They just unlocked the technology for privateers. It's fine.
I wonder if this is telling that you guys jump to paying the ninjas, whereas I'm just like, poison the politician yourself.
Oh no, see that's what I was saying. I mean, yeah, you could try and assassinate the politician yourself, but they probably have ninja guards. So it kind of be like trying to kill a president with a 22 long rifle from several miles away. No, no one's gonna.
No?
Okay.
No.
But anyway, the point actually being is really, realistically, in a world filled with ninja assassins who are basically 24/7 patrolling the territories they own, looking out for business prospects or rival business prospects that they have to kill, or potential business prospects to kill in the future once they tell their business prospects that they should go kill this person or pay them to go kill them, right? I don't think anyone in the business world is making any major moves unless a ninja clan allows it. Like, I can't see Gato, like, invading the Land of Fire from the Land of Waves unless Konoha allows it. You know? Like, if, like, that invasion was genuinely gonna happen, they would all just, like, fucking die in their sleep by a mass bombing, poisoning attack or some shit, right? Like, if you don't have ninjas and you're trying to start shit with ninjas, or start shit with people who can buy ninjas, I feel like it's like taking a rock to a gunfight. You might win, I
Well,
mean,
what if the ninjas have guns?
the ninja is the one with the gun.
I'm
I
pretty
mean,
sure
yes.
guns are meant to be an equalizer for civilians against ninjas, and they're just not effective.
Well, that's because nobody knows how to write guns.
Well, no, actually, no. No,
I think
I
it's
will
more that ninja
say,
power scaling is just worse. I think. Oh, sorry, not worse. I think ninja power scaling in Naruto is just a little too wizardy.
well, it's a little bit too wizardy, but it's also at the same time, if someone's capable of moving an average speed of 60 miles an hour, and then we did actually get this because of the Naruto guidebook, average Jonin speed is around 60 miles an hour. Which
Oh, okay. So the average Jonin is literally competing with the fastest Spartan.
yes, and which means that they have the ability to twitch at 60 miles an hour, which means that the average person who cannot do speeds like that will lose when you have to prep the gun for 30 seconds, then aim the gun, then pull the trigger, then wait 3 seconds for the gun to fire, and then the bullet travels thereafter another 10 seconds. And by the time all of that already happens, you and your entire platoon are already dead with fucking knives sticking out of your throats. It's like it's like if an army of musketmen tried to fight a Bradley.
Honestly, I think the
Technically,
Musket Man have a better chance of killing the Bradley.
yeah, technically they could. Untechnically, it's really not a fight. And, if that's the way it is, if there is already a weapon that exists, i.e.
A
ninja,
Bradley enters my domicile. I take up my musket.
It does nothing.
it bounces off its sloped armor, hitting the neighbor's dog.
I yell out "fuck" aloud and die instantly.
But no, seriously, if a weapon, like, you would normally in a human scenario where a weapon is not performing to the capacity needed for war, the humans will invent upon it. However, the problem in this scenario in Naruto is that ninjas are the advanced weapon, and it'd be like someone taking a sword to go and try and fight a squad of Marines. No one's going to look at the guy who dies inevitably when he tries to use a sword to kill a squad of Marines and go, oh, well, we just need a better sword. If we just invented upon the sword a little bit more, I'm sure he totally could have taken on that squad of Marines. No. It's the same way for the gun versus ninjas. It's that there is just no feasible way for someone at the current time period to have the resources and the knowledge and the money to put into R&D on a gun that could possibly keep up with ninja, because A, it would probably be sabotaged by ninja, and B, there is no reason why someone will look at the gun and go, well, if I just iterated on the gun a little bit more, we can totally take on a ninja. Now,
Now,
a
you can
scar
definitely make
maybe
an
could.
argument. A, you could, but B, you could definitely make an argument that iteration of guns would continue because you do still have traditional wars
Yeah,
not
it
fought
would
by ninja.
continue to a certain extent, but it would definitely continue a lot slower.
Absolutely.
Yeah, easier to just hire the ninja.
Yeah.
In fact, the only thing that's proving to be a danger at this point, and we can kind of thank Boruto for this, was they finally figured out how to,
Have ammo.
the word, industrialize, seal scrolls.
Oh.
So they found a way to miniaturize seal scrolls and store store jutsus in them.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
that was the big point of focus, because Naruto's like, you can't pass the Chunin exam if you're using these new ninja tools because you don't understand the power that comes with the jutsus you're throwing around.
You know what?
It's like his whole
Good
thing
for
is like,
Naruto.
he's like, I don't like these tools because in this instance you are giving nukes to children.
And I mean, and I don't disagree either. It'd be sort of like, it's drill day in the army, and you have to pass your marksman test today, and you call in an AC-130, and the guy's like, well, no, that's not the point of the marksman test. The point of the marksman test is to test your marksmanship, not
But Sarge, I hit the target.
not what kind of tool you can call in with your iPad.
Yeah. That was a whole big thing for like the Boruto movie. And then there was the other side that was expanded in the anime and the manga of like, they've got cool ninja tools like prosthetics, but even then, it took someone standardizing seal scrolls with jutsus to make civilians even approach threatening a ninja. And now we got to worry about the fact that the civilians have access to stronger guns that they will now kill themselves with.
Yeah.
Because they accidentally loaded the fireball jutsu and not the wind blade jutsu.
Right. And then then you have the people who pull the trigger and go, I didn't say I fired the wind spell. I said I fired fireball. I don't care how large the room is.
Oh no.
See, that's what I always liked about. That's why I always hated sorcerers and warlocks in D&D, because like anyone can learn to cast firebolt.
Sure.
Not everyone can learn to cast fireball,
Sure.
and that's a good thing.
Yes. As someone
You
who
have
had a
the
campaign with a wizard in it, who literally every single session set something on fire, whether intentional or not.
look at it this way: you have the right to a self-defense cantrip. You do not have the right to a spell of mass destruction.
But anyway, so yeah, tug of war. She was going to prove she could control the hidden villages. She was going to control all the hidden villages, despite being a civilian, using legalese and economics. This is a Sakura-centric story. I guess it's an alternative universe where this can be possible.
It has to be alternative because every ninja village has said, what's legality? At some
Here's the
point
problem:
in
ninjas will play
recent
by the
history.
rules as long as it's favorable to them.
Well, it's not just that.
They don't play by the rules if it's favorable. They play by their rules.
Yeah, it's
Not
not
the
only,
rule.
it's not only that. It's rules only exist because there is a force majeure that is capable of enforcing them. The force majeure who's capable of enforcing them is the ninjas you're trying to control. So you going, "Ho, you can't kill me. I have broken no laws," to the ninja can go, "That's cool, kid," and then they explode your soul.
Yeah. This idea, while interesting, doesn't work because the third Tsuchikage is still alive. That man committed several war crimes.
I mean, it's like,
alive.
yeah. I mean, it's like walking into North Korea and being like, I shall use North Korea's laws to overthrow Kim Jong-un.
That's
Good luck with
interesting.
that.
That's an
You know,
interesting tale. Do you mind getting into this black bag, please?
Yeah, right, exactly. It's like,
Yeah. That would actually be impressive, because I'm pretty sure one of the laws is straight up, you will not do this.
yeah, well, maybe it's possible. But, point being, though, is like, if the person you're trying to overthrow is the one enforcing the laws that you are relying on to overthrow them, and this is a dictatorship enforced by military power, I have some bad news for you. This ain't California. Another story by Africa Fire. I have to ask. I am a proud Afrocentrist.
What
Let's
the fuck does that even?
let's no,
Don't.
nose, do not.
Yeah,
Don't.
no.
I have been on this platform since 2016 under the name of Africa Power. I also listen to Japanese music. Ah, yes, the most African thing possible. All right, very interesting. I am kind of interested in what AU nonsense. Civilian society, okay, did not have to attend Ninja Academy. You got to have a childhood. She was a civilian. It was a blessing that she was a civilian because her parents loved her. Unlike ninja kids who did not have parents.
Well, what? What?
She was made fun of very often by other kids because she had a large forehead.
Okay, well, that already happened.
Naruto is a girl in this one, of course she is. Okay.
But why?
Because reasons. She didn't trust anyone except for her parents, and she regretted that because she later met Ino. 12 years old, blah, blah, blah. She tried to avoid ninjas. She did good in school. Spent time in the library. Absolute dog shit dialogue. I'm talking about literal wall of text dialogue. This person just slaps all that shit into a single paragraph. One giant paragraph. My brain is literally incapable of reading it. It's just skipping over everything. Physically cannot even read this. Something about snowdrop flowers. And then she read a newspaper one day about Naruto's mission in Wave. And she decided she was gonna read books, and it was a war zone without war, and Gato destroyed everything there to gain control of the village using force majeure. He ran the economy as he felt like it because he had the power. It got gears in her head spinning. Ninja villages, poverty, control. If she had the resources to control an entire economy, she can control the hidden village. Yes, that is what a daimyo is called. Literally, a daimyo is the leader of the country because they have a shit ton of people behind them and a shit ton of money and a shit ton of resources. And technically speaking, the ninjas could just kill the daimyo, declare themselves ruler of the country, and a majority of the people would have to just deal with it. However, it's more convenient that they just let the daimyo be the daimyo and get paid absolutely oodles of money to kill the people he wants them to kill, and then technically they control the country anyway, since they're the main military force. And the daimyo knows that. You know? I mean, just... So, I don't know, Sakura is just having this revelation of, if I have lots of power, then that means I have lots of power.
Job, Sakura!
Wow.
You understand basic economy stuff. Shit, bro. If I had as much money as Bill Gates, I could control a government.
Like Bill Gates. Oh, God. Oh, my God. Daimyo wasn't a ninja, but he had more power than a Kage, because if he ordered it done, it was done. Yeah, because...
I would like to point out, part of that power comes from the fact that he has 12, like, near Kage level bodyguards.
Well, yes, but he also pays exorbitant amounts of money for them to be his Kage level bodyguards, and for them not to join the ninja village, that would pay them nearly as much.
I'm aware, I'm just saying, right? An important part of the I can tell a Kage to go fuck himself is I have 12 people that could be a Kage.
Well, I wouldn't say go fuck himself, and even then, I wouldn't say the third Hokage is very threatened by the 12 Guardian Ninjas. What I will say, though, is, you know, the ninja village relies on the daimyo to do all of the menial stuff, like govern the civilians so they produce food for the ninja village to eat, and govern the civilians that produce the furniture they use, and, you know, etc., etc. And, govern the roads to make sure the trade routes are, plentiful, and people like trading in the country, because, some people can get intimidated by an entire village of mass murderers. And so, maybe if they want a place that isn't a village of mass murderers to go trade, so they can eventually be paid by those mass murderers who buy their products through an intermediary who will go to the village of mass murderers, then everyone's happy. Everyone gets paid, and everyone gets the products they want. So the ninjas, like the daimyo, because he is a degree of separation that does a lot of work that they don't really feel like doing. But that does not mean the ninjas rely on the daimyo.
Here's the thing. They are technically correct in that the ninja do rely on the daimyo to do all the stuff they don't want, and therefore the daimyo has a degree of leverage. He actually has a incredibly high degree of leverage, so long
I would
as he
say
applies his leverage to
properly.
be less annoying,
Yeah.
right? As
Well, I
long
mean,
as
it's
whatever
also
the
on top of that, it's not just so much he does stuff that gives him leverage, it's that he has a lot of money because he does the stuff, and that gives the
Yes.
village the money they need to pay the ninjas they need to do stuff they need so they can have more money. So it's a giant cycle, it's not like a stoppage point and a stoppage point and a line between them. It's a really big, complicated, not even like a circle. It's like got multiple gears going multiple different directions, turning multiple different things. And so just sitting here and being like, I mean, now admittedly, I will say this is a very 12-year-old thought process. Still dumb, though. Daimyo can tell village to go kill someone. It's like, well, yeah, the daimyo can tell the village to go kill someone because he's paying them $20 million to do it. Like, I don't know what, I don't know what you want me to say. It's not like the daimyo goes, go kill that person for me, and the village goes, oh, yes, please, thank you, daimyo, thank you. Yes, we will kill him immediately for free. Like, no, you're going up to a bunch of people who take money and do a job for you, and you're going, I have money, do a job for me, and they go, yeah, that sounds great.
if you've right, occasionally the daimyo will go, I really want this person dead yesterday. Here's an extra big pile of money.
Or, even, hey, so I want this trade route to go well. If it just so happens to get extra protection and no bandit attacks occur, and, this other trade route that doesn't benefit me as much, so, just conveniently gets attacked a little bit more. I could see some of those supplies or missions, or I might just talk to my friends a little bit more about you guys and about how reliable you are. Like, it's not always money. Sometimes they are doing things for free, maybe, but it's like free, air quotes. Actually, he's exerting influence in their benefit, which ultimately makes them more money because then more people go to them for more jobs. But anyway, so yeah, Sakura decides that because Gato was so successful at controlling Wave, this therefore means she can take over the world through economy. Yeah. It's a very interesting take, I will say. Sakura realizing that she is trained to become a glorified mercenary. Yes, indeed.
She doesn't even
Wait
get to
a
be the
minute.
cool mercenary.
I'm going to be a murderer for money.
Anyway. What else we got here going on? Not so
The
much.
author would like to thank you for your continued support.
Indeed. I'm sure they appreciate what I just typed them. So I will now tell a story that happened on another Discord today about how I continue to always be right because I argue with negative proof points, and the person I argue with is arguing with a positive proof point, and neither of us have proof, and so I end up talking in a straight line, and they end up shadowboxing a whole army. Effectively, someone posted a video clip. I said, Lamau, blah, blah, blah. This is why you can't trust the news, yada, yada. Someone else chimes in, oh, yeah, totally. I can't believe they did that sort of thing. And then he comes in, he's like, well, actually, that is recaptured footage that someone redubbed after blah, blah, blah. This is about this other thing, actually, blah, 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 blah. And so I go, okay. I mean, yeah, you made a fair point. It's yeah, the footage they used is recaptured. Your sources are real here. However, I think it says something more about the reality that we live in, that someone making this, mockery video, whether it's propaganda, parody, or etc., or whatever you want to call it, of the news, saying they did this, and we all just believed it because, we have crossed the line of parody and reality where someone can make a ridiculous claim about how the news totally invented this whole scenario just so they could film it. And everyone was like, yeah, that sounds reasonable. That sounds like a thing the news would do.
I mean, because here's the problem. We've already seen proof of when the media will, right? Like, we need to show a bigger crowd here, right? You can use 4 or 5 different camera angles to make 10 or 15 people seem like
100.
30,
Yeah.
40, 50. You can also use camera angles to make 100 people look like 10.
Yeah.
It entirely depends on what angles you pick, right? Or, oh, well, I filmed 15 minutes at the start of the event and there were 5 people.
Yeah. And then we just
Or
play that clip over and over again.
or I filmed 15 minutes at the start of the concert when there were 100 people, and we'll just make sure we show that part and not the part where everybody left because they went, "What the fuck is going on here?"
Yeah, exactly.
Or whatever it is, right? We've all seen it done.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I was more pointing out. I was just like, hey, look, you're correct in this instance that this footage was used in a transformative intent, whether that was because they were making fun of the news or because they were intentionally spreading misinformation or whatever have you. We don't know, because they posted it without comment on their YouTube page. They just posted it. Yeah, admittedly, they had the title. Obviously, they had a title, and obviously the title was misleading in the same vein as the closed captions were. But did they know? Like, were they the creators of the video? We don't know. They could have just seen the video on like TikTok or something, downloaded it, and reposted it. Someone could have made it on 4chan and they downloaded it and posted it to Reddit, and then someone took it off of Reddit and then they posted it to YouTube, and that's the video that got shared. Like, you don't know the origin of this video, so you can't really say whether it's malicious information spreading or not. The person who spread it to the server believed the video, so they spread it, thinking that it was true and that they were spreading something true. So they weren't maliciously spreading it because they didn't know it was incorrect. So there was multi layers here, and this guy just continues on and on for like a solid hour about how it's not a meme because it has negative content in it that influences people's opinions in a negative way towards a subject. And I'm like, my brother in Christ, that is not what a meme means. Oh, it's not parody because it doesn't have The Onion watermark on it. My brother in Christ, that is not what parody means. You don't need a watermark over your video to make a parody video. You don't need to have...
Sir, I'd like to direct you to a modest proposal.
Right, exactly. You don't need to have fucking big blocky top text, big blocky bottom text on a still image to make a meme. It doesn't need to be these static formats that fit your minor, small little definition worldview of what those words mean. And this dude just kept going on and on and on. And then he got to the end where he finally was like, he realized what I was saying. And he was like, oh shit, I'm sorry. So admittedly, he missed. But the only reason why he finally realized what I was saying is because he's like, well, nothing you've said disproves that it was effective propaganda. And I go, what part of I agree with you? It says more something about reality, about the repurposed footage, and how easy it was to believe that the target would absolutely do these actions. What part of that was my statement saying it wasn't propaganda? And he's like, oh, yeah, my bad. Yeah, I never at any point in time said he was wrong about it being propaganda. But that's what his argument was the entire time, was that it was definitely propaganda. And I was like, well, you don't have proof of it. I'm not saying it isn't. I'm just saying you don't have proof that it is. But yeah, so there's a whole fucking hour of just this guy swinging at shadows, and me just trying to explain my point over and over again, and also throwing definitions at him every time he used a word wrong. because he had like some super stratified idea of what a definition was. Also, I also hit him with this one. So here, I'll share this with you.
Oh no.
He at one point said that it was maliciously doctored content, so I sent him this.
Oh no.
Sneaky.
Yeah. One could say I maliciously doctored that photo.
I'm glad none of us are giving Sneaky the time of day on that. Because he knows what he's done.
Yeah, again, we know better.
Anyway, so let's do some Lord of the Rings. Doing some oldies today, you know? Didn't have enough fangirls in the first opening segments of the Naruto section, I suppose. I just really want to suffer, I suppose.
Yes, that's why you made this podcast.
Flame light, flee darkness, Lako Kalad Dregomorn. A Japanese girl with a katana.
Wait. Is it the superhero katana? I still hate that. Listen, I hate the concept of katana. The actual character of katana has been done with varying degrees of success throughout the year. But I hate the concept.
What's the concept?
It is literally a Japanese girl with a magic katana.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. Yeah. A Japanese girl armed with a katana stumbles upon Aladdin and Alohir. Bloodlust pulls them all together, but fear will wedge them apart. Dark powers stir in the north. How much strain can a bond stand while facing it? Dark angst with trauma, PTSD, romance. Eladan and Erlohir times female OC with a katana.
Yeah, hang on, Sneaky. I'm just gonna link you the blurb from her. We're just gonna leave this in Fict 9K, shall we?
Wielder of the foursome, still take a sword. Japanese escaped a tragic past to fight alongside outsiders and the Suicide Squad. While there are many great warriors in the universe, there is no one more proficient with a sword than Katana.
I want to point out that includes demigods, literal gods, alien warriors who've been alive for hundreds of thousands of years, extra-dimensional entities, literal demons, literal angels.
Born in Japan and trained to be a samurai, Japanese had a wonderful life, loving husband, and 2 children. One night, they all died. Seeking
Murdered.
revenge, she
They
took
were
possession of the mythical soul-taking sword, a legendary blade that housed the spirits of those that were killed. Calling herself Katana, named after the sword.
Really?
Wouldn't that have been Soul Taker Kid?
Tatsu embarked on a mission to bring justice those who harmed the innocent, first finding a home under the guidance of Batman as a part of his team of outsiders. Katana eventually served as part of the Suicide Squad and later became a member of the Birds of Prey. Oh, it's so cringe.
Yeah, Birds of Prey moment.
No, okay, hang on. Birds of Prey was originally a really cool idea.
Yeah,
It's
and then they
actually
ruined
a
it.
great comic.
Forever marked by the tragedy that created her, Katana is one of the most formidable superheroes in the DC universe. Wait, Katana. Who was the lady, the Japanese lady who's like the ultra death extreme hyper assassin killer in DC?
Oh no, are you thinking of Marvel?
No, it's in DC. 'Cause she shows up in a bunch of DC fics I've read.
You gotta be more specific. Do you mean like Talia al Ghul?
Maybe, I think.
She's not Japanese. She's probably Middle Eastern. We're not quite sure where Ra's al Ghul came from, but he's Ra's
No,
al
no,
Ghul's daughter.
it's an Asian, Korean, Chinese, Japanese person.
I'm trying to think because like you have Deadshot as the assassin.
Yeah. She's the leader of League of Assassins or whatever they're called.
That's Talia al Ghul.
Oh, that is okay.
Not not Asian. Well, might be. No one's entirely sure where Raz is from, but we're all reasonably certain it's the Middle East.
Well, I mean, but the
It
name
depends on what author you're
Oz,
talking about.
does it?
No, just to be clear, Max, he's gone by many names throughout the years.
There's a lot of different versions of Roz.
But right to the point.
All of them are jerks.
He's got yes. No. There's the one. Oh, shit. What was the? There was one time he came out of the Lazarus pit as an incredibly chill, nice dude who felt terrible about everything he did, and Talia was like, "Oh my god, you're such a pussy," and killed him and put him in the pit.
Yeah, that sounds like Talia.
Don't forget that happened.
Yeah,
We
that
had
definitely sounds like Talia.
peace-loving Ra's al Ghul who wanted to make the world better, and Talia went, "Oh my god, I can't take another 5 minutes of this. Murder's father."
Hey, as someone with very base level knowledge of Getter Robo, that would have been way more horrifying if you wanted to make the world Getter.
Yes, I know. I misspoke.
So there's some fucked up shit that happens in Getter Robo, from what I understand. I really need to delve into that series.
Anyway, but yeah, you're thinking of Talia. But yeah, no, even Talia loses to Katana. We don't talk about it. Personally, I prefer the iterations of Katana where all of the samurai who died to the sword are like giving, in addition to her having been trained, she has like 100+ samurai souls telling her what to do. Then it's like, all right, you know what? It's not one person. It's the collective skill of thousands of dead warriors. Sure, that's magical.
I'm sorry, I have to share this image because I've seen it now. So must you.
Oh no.
The fuck was that?
I like
That was me
like the last
dying.
I like the last tag at least.
Yeah.
Also, can I just say that's a
At
little
least they're
fucked.
honest.
It's a little fucked. But you fucking, it's like, oh yeah, I know we've spent millions of dollars on this project, but yeah, you just gotta go into the girl Navi body. I'm sorry. It's like, wait, fucking what?
You know, I managed to ruin that movie for someone long ago.
Oh yeah.
What, by telling them it's blue Pocahontas?
No, by telling them it's Space Pocahontas.
Oh yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Dude, I remember literally sitting in the theater watching the movie an hour and a half in and just turning to my friend and going,
Yeah.
why am I still watching fucking blue Pocahontas?
Yeah, no, we literally all, everyone literally had the realization of it's just fucking blue / space Pocahontas. Like, also, I was rooting for the humans.
Yeah, I was too. Now, okay, that being said, I kind of want the link to the story. Like, where do they take this idea? Or is it just lesbians?
I'm assuming it's just lesbians. Being
'Cause
that,
that's not interesting, author.
yeah.
Like, if all you do is this is the story, but we're making one of them split time between male and female. I'm sorry, author. I didn't like the original Avatar. This is not going to compel me to read your version of Avatar.
Yeah. Now, I will fully admit, if this was get rid of the Navi tag and keep that last tag of no, not that Avatar, the bad one, I would take a peek if this was a fan fiction based off of M. Night Shyamalan's version of Like Airbender.
You know what? I
I'd-
wouldn't put it past
I'd-
M. Night Shyamalan to give the Avatar.
You know, honestly, I feel like you could make a little meme about this. You know, the fucking the cowboy sound clip as well. I've sent it to Max. The sound clip that let's see, Max. It's probably been recent enough, right? I probably sent this to you recently, right?
I don't know.
Let's see. I mean, it's been a while. It's been a couple days. I definitely sent this to you. Pretty sure.
If you did, I might not have looked at it because if you sent it to me in the middle of the workday, I don't normally look at video links while I'm at
It was
work.
an MP4 specifically. Really,
Trying to remember.
my body is a machine that turns Kickstart My Heart into speeding tickets. Really, did I not send it to you?
Oh,
Were you the only person I didn't send this to?
Whatever you
Possibly.
sent to Max, you didn't send to me either. But
Oh, I don't send you anything ever.
yeah, I know. It hurts.
How unfortunate.
You send it to Nose even.
Yeah, I know. It's because he reacts.
Sneaky sends me shit just because he knows I don't give a
The-
fuck most of the time.
the
Yeah.
last
I might roll my
time.
at best, I roll my eyes at him. Like he sent me,
Wait,
he sent
no.
me Left 4 Dead 2 Coach sings human as
Yeah.
an AI cover. Which, by the way, I was shocked he hit some of those notes
Yeah,
really well.
it was really good.
And others, I'm like, can we stop, or can we rewind a couple seconds?
I do some age attacks against Max occasionally as well.
Some what?
They never work, but he tries.
Age attacks.
Oh yeah, no.
You know, I definitely sent it to Jingo. Okay, let me go see what I sent to Jingo.
Yeah. I've enjoyed some of the Armored Core stuff he sent me, like this Minecraft Steve.
Yeah. Yes, yeah, here we go. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Oh, no, Sneaky, you sent me this.
Oh, I did?
You sent me this like weeks ago.
Yeah, well, that explains why I couldn't find it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you sent me this a while back.
Anyway, take that soundtrack, put this over the tags, and then reveal them one by one.
Oh,
Avatar,
would you like
Gender Bender, Navi. No, not that Avatar, the bad one.
Yeah, for anyone curious about the song, it is Ecstasy of Gold.
Oh, really?
Yep, from The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. I know this because physics teacher liked to put music on for us sometimes during tests. And I was like, hey, what was that song? Oh, Ecstasy of Gold from this movie. Here, check it out.
I'm sorry. During a test, your physics professor decided he would play the cowboy standoff theme.
It was
I
really
feel like that's
cool.
cruel and unusual.
Not really.
That's the kind of thing that's going to make me have a rising sense of panic.
Is that really where the quote came from?
What?
I'd rather
quote?
die standing than live kneeling?
Probably.
Yes. That's one of the reasons I really need to check that movie out sometime, because I want the full context of that scene.
I mean, okay, we can all agree that no matter what your opinion of modern movies is, the old ones, the top old ones, of course, you know, the classics, the gold classics.
I'm sorry. The way you say the top old ones just makes me think of some kind of Eldritch pyramid scheme.
I mean, they kind of were.
Yeah.
But
Cthulhu pulls Yogg-Sothoth aside and says, "Look, you gotta invest in the human stocks. Trust me."
Kid,
it's
listen.
a growing stock.
Look. Kid, you don't invest in humans for explosive growth anymore. You invest in them for long-term sustained torment. look at what they do to themselves. Have you seen this thing called TikTok?
Man, I hate YouTube Shorts, by the way, because it is absolutely aimed at ADHD.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
I almost got trapped in that hole the other day. I'm like, oh no, I need to stop. I had to put my phone down and walk outside for some fresh air while I was at work with my phone left on my desk. It's like, fuck. I hate this.
All right, fair enough. That is a quote. It's a powerful quote by Emiliano Zapata. Apparently, it's a two-part quote. The first part of the quote is, "I'd rather die standing than live kneeling," and Emilio Zapata, a Mexican revolutionary leader, replies with, "No, my friend, you have it wrong. It's better to live on your feet than to die on your knees."
Okay, so I did have the quote almost correct in my head because I always knew that there was a follow-up to it. I just had the wording slightly wrong.
Quite so, sir. Anyway, great music, fantastic music. And
Yes.
like all of the old shit was great. All of the old music was great. It's all fantastic, and I cannot name a single fucking movie that's come out in the past 20 years that will be a classic like The Good, the Bad, the Ugly. I can't think of a single movie.
I think any movie in the last 20 years that we consider to be a classic will be something that's looked at with fondness for humor
Yes.
more than being revolutionary.
Yeah.
Or for its cinematography.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of the Marvel movies will be remembered for being like, this is the kind of bullshit breakthrough we can do with CGI
Yeah.
in a lot of cases. Because they have a lot of shots
Well,
that
the Marvel
still
movies will
look
be
really
the
good.
Marvel movies will be remembered for their one epic moment per movie, where it has
Yeah.
the movie has that one really good moment that gets clipped.
Except for
Well,
the Spider-Man movies, which will be remembered for good humor.
Yes.
There's another thing the Marvel movies will be remembered for, Sneaky. Which
many?
is which is ruining writing
Yes.
by making people think that you must have one-liners every 5 minutes.
Yep.
Yeah.
What's
look,
good
like-
drama and understanding and having a message when we can just have a quip?
Okay, look.
Thinking back to the early
Hold on. No, you can't entirely blame Marvel movies for this. Part of the issue is Zoomer and
Well, we can also
millennial.
blame Buffy the Vampire Slayer in some ways.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Part of the reason is the Zoomer / millennial nihilistic humor. Of you have to make a joke every second because if you take life too seriously, you'll just kill yourself. Which, that's rough, man, but you're making garbage.
Honestly,
Your humor that's so relatable is still garbage.
Like, when I see millennial humor, and I can see millennial humor, it's like a fucking scent of rot in the air. And I can see it and shit. And it sucks. It's so lame.
Millennial or Zoomer or both?
Millennial. Well, Zoomer's just worse millennial.
Right. Yeah, right. We've had this discussion before about your opinion on that. Yeah.
Zoomer is like millennial 2.0 humor, except literally the 2.0 is everything got worse instead of being patched.
Yeah, what is it? The copy will never surpass the original.
Effectively, yeah. Zoomers are extension of millennials, yeah. Alpha's even worse. No, dude, Alpha's gonna be even worse. Alpha is gonna grow up not even knowing what a YouTube video is. All they know is gonna be TikTok.
Yeah. Like, YouTube videos were bad enough with everything getting sliced into 20 and 15-minute chunks because of algorithming.
It's like, I'm sorry, God forbid your attention span's so fucking shrunken and atrophied by the modern content generator that unless I have a fucking, jump runner on the screen as I'm playing whatever the fucking that game is that they all play in all those fucking TikTok videos where you're jumping the train tracks to
Subway
collect
Surfers?
coins. Yeah, Subway
That's what
Surfers.
it's called.
Yeah, sure. That fucking thing.
The
Unless I'm
shitty
playing
version of
fucking
Temple Run.
yeah, unless I'm playing fucking Subway Surfers and my opinion is kept into a 30-second soundbite. God forbid I ever try to explain something to you.
Honestly, that's why,
Yeah.
like, as I've been, like, more and more, I've been trying to find channels that have long form content and watching it and upvoting,
Upvoting.
liking it, because shit, man, I want the algorithm to see that people do occasionally want stuff that takes longer than 15 fucking minutes.
So CS:GO knife parkour, my dude. CS:GO knife parkour was so 2016. It was so millennial era.
You're
We're in current year. We're Subway Surfer now. I'm I'm doing active psychological damage to those.
I just remember watching like surf videos when I was bored.
I just remember watching Leafy is here.
Death.
Come on, man. That was a good era. Like, looking back on that, that was actually a good era.
Was it?
Yeah. Shit wasn't fucking on fire, and, we didn't have shit being rammed down our throats
I don't
entirely
know.
yet.
2008, some stuff was definitely on fire.
Not for us.
But Sticky, that's endemic of the fact that we weren't smart enough to realize everything that was going on. Although I want to point out, when I was 8, I was having nihilistic discussions about the moral decrepitude of the American government with my father and discussing politics and the economy. And my father was like, "Boy, you're such a cheerful child."
Oh, no, don't get me wrong. I was the same way. 2008, 2012 was my pro-Anonymous era. Back when Anonymous was
Oh
cool
God,
and
I
useful
remember that.
and
Yep, you
actually
learned
did
about what
shit.
Anonymous was. You learned
And
about what
then,
Anonymous was, and you're like, "This is the greatest thing ever. I must be involved."
Yeah, it was actually honestly a great movement back then that actually did shit. They hit against sites that did child pornography and they took down, corrupt businesses left and right and they
and then
exploited.
tourists found it.
Well, and not just tourists, okay? Unfortunately, the whole reason why they were so successful is because their flagship hacking group, LOLSEC, happened to be compromised by the FBI. And that's why Anonymous was so effective. And the second the FBI decided LOLSEC was no longer needed, Anonymous shattered and became another leftist organization of absolutely uselessness. And I was a big Wall Street guy, fucking Occupy Wall Street. I was a huge follower of that in my high school years.
That was a movement that was so close to being useful.
So close, on the cusp of actually doing something.
And then it got co-opted.
When they introduced race politics.
Okay, that
No,
No.
they were useless way before that.
they were
Sneaky.
useless before that.
No, you guys don't remember. Is they were actually like building Steam. And then one day I start seeing a bunch of videos coming out of the on the ground journalists like Tim Pool, coming out from them about all of these people that suddenly showed up, and they started trying to organize everyone by their race. And that's where that's where I first heard about the privilege stack. And that was the death of Occupy Wall Street. They quickly lost steam. A lot of people started leaving. The demands started getting ridiculous, and they weren't unified anymore because all of a sudden we needed money for black businesses and Asian businesses and all this other shit that no one really cared about. They just wanted fair economic conditions. But they started pushing all this race stuff. And that's where I became an anti-SJW after that. Those were a good 4 years between 2012 and 2016. A lot of content on Tumblr to make fun of. College, debating people, good stuff. And
I
then
don't
I
know if
got
I call what you did debating people.
shouting.
That was more bullying people.
Yeah, well, maybe they shouldn't have such shit opinions.
Mm.
Do you think life would have been better if the ketchup girl was disappeared before she ruined Occupy Wall Street? Unfortunately, I don't think it was one actor. I think it was multiple actors.
There's probably multiple actors. There's always some kind of stuff with that. It's hard to find when it's happening.
And I'm not
than
even going to
when it
say it was some sort of conspiracy to shatter Occupy Wall Street. It could have, and I am fully open to this idea, it could have been multiple grifters who saw an opportunity to grift money out of
Well, yes,
Occupy Wall Street.
that's what Wall Street's all about. It's grifting you out of your money.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It could have been multiple grifters who saw Occupy Wall Street as their next big chance to get a free following with money in their pockets, who want to give them that money because they say all the right things that they want to hear. I'm fully open to that being the truth of it. However, I personally believe it's a fucking conspiracy to shut down Occupy Wall Street. But, is what it is. Personal opinion, I'm not going to state that it's a fact. Anyway, what are facts, however, is how Lord of the Rings went. And I am now going to trigger Atin by reading a passage. The Ring of Darkness. As the ring returns to Sauron, darkness engulfs Aragorn, Legolas, and Gimli. Battles and dwindling hope weigh them down. Amidst despair, they hold on to the possibility of a final riddle from Gandalf that could alter Sauron's course. In the bleak hour, a flicker of hope remains. A crossover with Xena the Warrior Princess.
Alright, look, first of all, how dare you drag Xena the Warrior Princess into your garbage plot? Second of all, Xena the Warrior Princess does not fucking fit in Lord of the Rings. Xena the Warrior Princess is hilariously high magic.
Yes.
Xena, the actual warrior princess. Okay, look, Aragorn is a 3rd edition fighter.
Yes.
Xena the warrior princess.
No, he's a ranger. Well, I mean, technically, Ranger's sort of.
Okay,
no,
you know what?
No,
you know my point.
Aragorn is absolutely a fighter who just picked up bow.
Yeah. No, he does have ranger skills. I know what Nose is saying. My point. Okay, look, he's a 3.0 ranger that took feats instead of magic. Okay.
Oh, Champion of the Wild. Yeah, no, makes sense. Yeah.
Xena the Warrior Princess is from 3.5 after cracking open the Tome of Fighters.
Okay, fair enough.
What about the tome?
These are not compatible.
Yeah.
The Weeaboo fighting tome. Did we talk about that one?
That is the Weeaboo fighting tome, you idiot.
Yes.
Oh, that is?
Yes.
I thought it was something else.
It's literally the fighter's tome. The fighter's tome was.
I thought it was.
I want to be clear.
I thought it was connected to the Forgotten Realms. My bad.
What?
I don't know.
Does he?
Just
does
ignore
he
him.
not realize
just
that
ignore him. Just ignore him.
3.5 was the. Anyway, okay.
I thought it was something different. My bad.
Yeah. Okay. Look, the Tome of Fighters. The reason it existed was because I want to make Final Fantasy characters and cool fighters. And don't get me wrong, the Tome of Fighters is great, and actually largely a much needed power spike for fighters in relation for marshals
Yeah,
in
absolutely.
Oh
relation.
yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
100%, yeah.
It was good for
Because
that.
3.0, the problem with 3.0 was they
The problem with
switched
3.0
from.
is actual wizards made it, wizard players, so
Yeah.
they didn't know what anyone else
Well,
played.
no,
They're like,
it
oh,
has nothing to do with that. They wanted to appeal to a. I don't want to say a more casual audience because God knows 3.0 wasn't casual.
Okay, let's be clear here. Anything that is changing from advanced D&D 2 to 3.0, I'm sorry, it is literally, but by sheer definition, it's like the fucking graph, you know, with everyone, the political graph, where it's like this small little tiny box of not fascist, and then the entire rest of the political compass is fascist. It's literally that, except advanced D&D players, and the entire rest of the box is casual.
That's fair. Although I do want to point out, as someone who played Advanced D&D 2, go fuck yourself, Advanced D&D.
Well, yeah, so that's sort of my point.
Right. But the problem was one of the moves because even in Advanced 2, even in D&D Advanced 2 and 2.5, wizards and marshals had separate progression tracks.
And 3.0 they did too, but they kind of
No, they didn't.
I
No, they didn't. Experience gain was unified to level.
I said they sort of.
Right, but the most important point was that the
Levels were
level of
unified, yeah.
influence that people had
Yeah.
per level
Yeah.
stayed the same,
Yeah.
right? By which I mean the level 0, you
Right.
are nothing. Level 1, yeah, maybe someone in your town knows your name, up to the point of level 20 where you are deciding the fate of the world.
Right.
Did
And the
3.5
difference
still
was
have it where wish could affect you even at like
no, it
level
does, but
15?
that's not the point, Nose. The point is that in second edition D&D, well, editions 1 advanced, 2 advanced, 2.5 advanced, there was a separate leveling speed for every character class that didn't use magic. Didn't matter if that was a cleric, a wizard. Did sorcerers exist by that point, or were they still homebrew, Sneaky?
Sorcerers were homebrew until 3.0, I believe.
Yeah.
And 3.5 is the one that introduced warlocks way later.
Yeah. Anyway, right, but so clerics,
How
wizards,
unfortunate.
right, just the ones that used magic, they had separate leveling speeds because they were meant to level slower because the game was inherently designed around the fact that a level 20 wizard
Was God.
is God. The fighter is meant to hit level 20 before the wizard because that's the way the fighter competes with the wizard, which isn't to say that a level 20 wizard couldn't beat a level 20 a level 20 fighter couldn't beat a level 20 wizard, but you had to get lucky and catch the wizard at the right time, and it took preparation, which is what you're supposed to do to fight a fucking wizard.
You're a lizard, Harry.
You're a lizard, Harry. Yes, indeed. Right, but the whole point of it was the fact that the wizard is level 5. He has obtained Fireball. The fighter is level 10 and owns a small country. They have played the same game.
Right. Yeah.
And then you get to 3, where the level 1 wizard, the wizard hits level 5 at the same time as the fighter hits level 5. These are no longer the same game.
Yeah.
And the fighter's tome was, okay, cool. You take this feat, falling damage doesn't affect you. You have permanent feather fall. Oh, you took this feat? Go be a dragoon. You want to jump high enough in the sky to ram a spear through the dragon's skull? That's a feat.
Yeah. Yeah, I dig it. Yeah, it was good. I mean, if you want to do low fantasy, you can do low fantasy, but you know, if you want to do high fantasy and have wizards and fighters be in the same party and everyone feels good at the end of the day, it's one of the reasons why I really like 3.5 is because you can put like 4 levels in fighter and then be like, all right, now that I've gotten all my stats really stupid high and I've taken a bunch of feats that I need for the prerequisite prestige classes, I'm gonna go start prestiging like 8 levels early. and you start prestiging and you do really stupid shit like Hulking Hurler and Blood Knight. So you have a permanently returning gargantuan-sized rock that you can throw for a DC 5 accuracy check instead of actually trying to aim at the person. And it does 8d 10 damage to the target, and then it teleports back into your hand and heals you for half the damage you dealt. And that was just your first attack of 5. That's just fucking stupid and silly, and I love it.
Yeah.
But-
Look, again, I loved everything about
Yeah.
the Tome of Fight, right? Or maybe it wasn't called the Tome of Fighters, but
It's all
whatever
right.
it was, everybody knows what it was,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Even
I-
Nose knew
I
what
would-
it is, even
I
if he
don't
knew it by
think-
the wrong name.
Yeah, I think it's not the tome. I don't know if it's a tome.
It was by the way, it was not called the Book of Weeaboo Fightin' Magic, you idiot.
That's just what I know it by.
Boku of
That's what I-
Weeaboo fighting.
That's just what I know it by. Because
Yeah,
that's
but
like
yeah.
you said, it was for Final Fantasy characters.
Yeah, and it was there to go, hey, do you want your fighter to be an anime character? Use this book.
Did Exalted come out before or after that? Because I was
Oh,
going to say.
Exalted's pretty old, dude.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Exalteds came first. But yeah, either way. Anyway, the point is, that is one of the big things that ruined D&D, and I will forever lobby to bring back the martial caster divide.
So here's another one that'll make you froth. You reap what you sow. The good of the world must be sown. Through troubled and rotten it grows. The blood of soft hearts must atone, and the wicked only breed woes. A human woman, born to outcasts in Mordor and raised by orcs in the face of monsters, must face her monsters, both real and internal.
There is so much wrong with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
First of all, the orcs taking care of anything. Literally, that is the equivalent. Literally, these were things handcrafted by Satan to kill.
Yes.
Well, hand mutated. He couldn't craft anything. That's a whole other, for all intents and purposes, handcrafted.
Don't say it, 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 don't say it.
Don't say it. Don't say it, Sneaky.
Yes. Yeah, you know, the famous saying that the internet loves so much, evil cannot create, it can only corrupt and destroy.
Yes, that literally comes from Tolkien.
I know, that's why I said it.
I know. I'm just saying that for everybody else in the chat who isn't, well read like you
Yes.
and me
Yes.
and Max.
Yes.
Yeah.
Excuse
you, I read Lord of the Rings. Fuck you.
You haven't read the Silmarillion, you fucking casual.
I started on
I
it.
was wondering how long it would take him.
It was the same fucking sentence because I'm like, I'm waiting for my turn. I'll wait until he says it. Then he
And I
doesn't say it. I'm
appreciate
like, motherfucker.
You haven't read the Silmarillion. You're
I haven't read it.
casual.
You know how fucking long the Silmarillion is?
I read it in 5th grade.
Okay, let me rephrase that. Do you know how long it takes to read?
I read it in 5th
Yes,
grade.
you had more free time.
Oh, what were you busy doing? Sucking dick?
Hey, whoa.
Hey, what the
whoa.
fuck? I was talking more about the fact that you have more free time in 5th grade than you do as an adult.
Okay, so why didn't you
why
read
didn't
it
you
during
read the
5th grade?
Silmarillion in 5th grade?
That's my point.
Because I
Wait,
was
what did you
fucking
guys
dumb.
think I was talking about?
No. Listen, Sneaky, it's you. You could have been implying a lot of things.
You could have been being an asshole, and I was
Anyway,
completely in my right to expect that from
But
you.
yes, it is a good question, Nose. What the hell were you doing that you weren't reading the Silmarillion and enriching yourself culturally?
Yes.
Playing Halo,
Well, that sounds like a skill issue.
possibly.
Sounds like a casual issue. You should read the Silmarillion now.
I technically I am.
Okay, look, look, I'm not gonna stand there and tell you that the Silmarillion is an easy read. I'm not gonna stand there and tell you that it's a
Oh boy,
fascinating
here's
read.
another one. Female author time, guys.
Hang on one sec.
Matched from I know Silmarillion, easy read, blah blah blah. You should read it. It's very
I
good.
saw that. I saw that. I was trying to ignore it. I saw the title and I said, "Uh-oh." And then I read more about it and I said, "Oh no." And then I
A
said,
marriage
if I
of
just pretend
convenience
it's not
seems
there.
like a solution to all their problems. Legolas will marry the human OC. Self-insert story. Not a pregnancy fic. Okay.
Is it the human insert OC?
I mean, maybe. I couldn't be fucked to find out.
Hold on, now I have to Google this. It's been so long since I read any of the stuff to do with the elves.
Let's see. Tomorrow is unknown. After 2 years of the pandemic, Aspen quits her job to travel the world.
Blah blah blah, human OC, blah blah blah, blah blah blah.
Is human OC? Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
In a
this one's human
temple,
OC.
she picks up a stone, but when she tries to leave with the stone, the temple disappears and she finds herself in Middle Earth, and now she has to find her way home.
That's really stupid.
Just put down the
Oh,
stone.
also, one thing I have always wanted, I've wanted Tolkien elves to go visit Warhammer elves and just be like, can you stop being a racist dickhead for 5 minutes and fix your world?
Wait, which one is
Please.
telling the other that?
The Tolkien elves.
The Tolkien elves.
No, okay, look, Sneaky, jokes aside, the Tolkien elves are not racist.
They're just British.
No, they're not even British. If they were British, they'd have been very imperialist. The elves were the opposite of
a little racist.
Really? Okay, let me
Little
rephrase
bit.
that.
To be fair, they were
Okay,
racist
they're
against
racist to
humans
the dwarves.
because,
They're racist to the dwarves.
And they kind of look down on humans for being
to
humans.
be fair,
No, they don't. They
said
don't.
humans, the best of their kind, quote unquote, literally gave into the ring.
Yeah, they kind of did look down a little bit on the rest of the races for falling to the ring, and they didn't because they're special.
All right, you're fair. They still have a lot higher ground to stand on than Warhammer elves.
Oh, 100%, absolutely. No,
You're
no,
right.
yeah, totally.
I was wrong. You're
Yeah.
right. But it's the difference between a literal molehill and a mountain.
See, I would just like more to see the the fantasy, the modern fantasy dwarf meet the Warhammer dwarf. In the modern fantasy dwarf asks the Warhammer dwarf, "Where's all your wives?" And the Warhammer dwarf goes, "Oh yes, of course, come along." And he takes them to a forge, and he goes, "Look upon these fine ladies." And the modern fantasy dwarf goes, "All I can see is anvils." And he goes, "Yes, and we beat everyone every night."
You're real proud of that joke, aren't you?
It's not even that good, but fuck you. You know what? Here's a fun one. Drizzt Do'Urden becomes king of the Dark Elves in Warhammer.
Oh
no. Well, I mean, he'll probably do a better job than fucking Malekith.
Well, see, here's what you do.
Sits there, worships the Wood Elves god.
No, because see, here's what you do, right? You take Drizzt 5 seconds before he finds out Catti-brie got reincarnated.
Okay.
And then you move him to Warhammer Fantasy. That's when he becomes king of the Dark Elves.
I mean, I still think him worshipping the Wood Elf god would be funny.
What I think would be hilarious would be him worshipping the Faerun Wood Elf god.
That's what I'm saying.
And all the other Wood Elves, just the actual Wood Elves show up. How did Dark Elves gain the favor of insert Wood Elf god? Cock's head. Who the fuck is that?
It's bitches. I pray to Odun.
I mean, the Wood Elf God's just Orion, technically. Or he's one of them. Or Kurnos, or whatever the fuck. There's a lot.
Kuranos.
Looks at Wood Elf Pantheon. Well, here's your problem. You have a fucking pantheon.
There's
What do you mean?
There's 9
You gotta
too many.
consolidate.
You just gotta
No,
kill
see, the
all the
last time we
gods
consolidated,
and
we
mold
had,
them into one.
last time we consolidated, we got Age of Sigmar. You don't want to do that.
10 companions, so be it. V2. What
No,
if Boromir
no.
wasn't the only son of Denethor?
Okay, I want to point out the problems with having Faramir there.
Would the journey of the Fellowship have been any different? Sorry for grammar and spelling. I am not.
No, it
English
really wouldn't have been
speaking.
much different, except Faramir probably would have been fucking dead along with Boromir.
Yeah, they would have just been dead faster.
I mean, in fairness, Faramir did resist the ring.
Yeah. You know, we keep seeing it, but I've never clicked on it. How bad can Hunger Games fanfic be?
Oh no, I'm taking out the literal garbage before I have to hear this garbage.
Hey, look, where's 9 more minutes? The 72nd annual Hunger Games by Thalia, the daughter of Jupiter. Oh geez, the PJO section bleed over. Woo! 2 years before the star-crossed lovers of District 12 set the nation on fire, it was time for the annual Hunger Games. 24 go in, 1 comes out. Nobody decent ever wins the games. Katniss Everdeen. Okay. And the main character is a OC self-insert. They've written 18,000 words and have 3 favorites. Man, what is the favorite count in these sections? I want to see, like, what's the highest favorites? Really? 4,700 favorites is the highest. And that was a story published in 2010. God damn. And of course, it was a canon pairing. Romance, hurt, comfort. Pre-epilogue. So literally, this is a story that every single female fan of this fandom would click on. Wow, yeah, PETA, romance 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 PETA. Oh, hey, look, a story that isn't romance PETA, it's romance and OC.
Of course.
Romance PETA, romance PETA, romance PETA, romance PETA. Yeah, so the entire top page of Hunger Game Fix is canon pairing romance genre. That's about what I expected, to be honest.
Wish I could say I'm surprised, but I'm not.
I'm not. Yeah, not even slightly. Alright, let's see what the Harry Potter section's got to send us off with.
Nothing good, I imagine.
Let's see. Life Chronicles. Lily brings strange game to her friends. Curious, they all play, not realizing the real life consequences to their actions. That's right. It's time for another episode.
Full life consequences.
I'm glad we went to the same location.
Zombie ghosts leave this place.
I must ask you for help. John Freeman, brother of Gordon Freeman. Alright, so what are the real life consequences? I was in a car and I was watching a video by Studio C. It was the game Life, where every role cast was reality. So it's just Jumanji, but Life.
How unfortunate.
So Jumanji, but worse.
Jumanji, but worse. Yeah. By the end of the game of Life, you got like 3 kids, a massive college debt, and a a mortgage debt. And all it takes is a span of like 30 minutes. Yeah, I don't
Well,
know.
who knew the game of life was going to be so ahead of its time for what we would have to deal with?
Right? Yeah. Right. I mean, like honestly, I find it amusing that back in the day they made that as a parody of life. It's like, oh yeah, this is so wild. Wouldn't this be funny if this happened? And then
It happened.
few 30 years later.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got some live updates from the one, the only, the Somnolent Slumber, on the Na'vi story. So the male main character gets lawyered into accepting a female avatar body, and then he gets put onto Pandora after a couple years of training, and it turns out they double fucked him because his avatar didn't get the growth regime it needs, and is the Navi equivalent of a 12-year-old, so he ends up being a lolly.
No. No. That's dumb. That's exceedingly dumb.
I'm what? You know what? Actually, that's enough internet for today.
Yeah?
We're done.
Yeah, it's actually enough internet for today.
You're done.
Yeah, I'm done. Yeah, we're just gonna call it here. So yeah, gentlemen, we will be seen out by this wonderful backing track that I don't think they can even catch me for anyway. Like when this come out? Like really long ago? Probably really long ago. Hopefully really. Anyway.
What's the back truck?
All right, I took out the literal trash. I assume I've missed
So we will
nothing.
close out here with this, and remember, there is always more, and it always gets worse.